All right, welcome back to the channel. So, Ryan Garcia's trainer, Eddie Reynoso, is very, very confident about him knocking out Luke Campbell. And that really, to me, says something. Let's talk about Luke Campbell and Ryan Garcia and what Eddie Reynoso has to say about that fight in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. So, Eddie Reynoso, who is the trainer for Canelo Alvarez, and I think has to be considered one of the best trainers in boxing because he worked with, I do believe that he worked from the ground up with Canelo Alvarez. And I think that Canelo Alvarez probably gets more out of his natural talent. As I'll put it this way, he gets as much out of his natural talents as any fighter in boxing. And if it was not for the fact that he tested positive for performance enhancing drugs, I would have him as my number one pound for pound fighter. I mean, for me, I don't think, obviously there's not very many people in boxing that have the resume that Canelo Alvarez has. And also his skills in the ring are exceptional. I mean, the guy's defense is, his upper body movement is up, his defense with his upper body is just something, man, it's very, very James Toney-ish. Not quite on James Toney level, but it's very James Toney-ish. And that is saying a lot. He also can fight in multiple styles. He's a very, very intelligent fighter. You know, Canelo Alvarez is he's no joke, man. Canelo Alvarez is the real deal. And Eddie Reynoso, having trained him, you know that he's somebody that knows how to build somebody from the ground up and also knows how to teach somebody or work with somebody to fight in multiple styles because Canelo Alvarez can not only fight, he can not only outbox. Well, I wouldn't necessarily call him an outboxer, but he can fight at mid-range. Yeah, oh my God, man. Yeah, that's probably the best way to say it. Dude, at mid-range, this guy can stand in front of probably any boxer on the planet, man. Stand right there in front of you, dude. And if you think you're touching that guy's head, you are out of your mind because he slips punches by inches extremely, extremely well. He's a very strong puncher, very solid puncher. Just think very highly of Canelo Alvarez and what Canelo Alvarez can do in the ring. And that is me understanding fully that many people believe Erislandy Lara beat him. I scored the fight for Erislandy Lara. I scored that fight. I think I had Canelo in the Austin Trout fight, but it was a good fight. And that is against two guys that are very slick, awkward southpaws, right? So the fact that he is able to fight, and he did fight competitively with Alvarez. I mean, with Lara, right? And this was a younger Lara, a prime Lara. Dude, I don't know if there's anybody in 154 pounds right now that is going to beat Erislandy Lara when Erislandy is in his prime. Now, Erislandy might bore people to sleep, right? Or at least that's what they say to justify the fact that they don't like the dude. But, you know, dude is a master boxer in Erislandy Lara. And a southpaw, so Canelo Alvarez, even the fact that he fought as well against Erislandy Lara as he did, dude, tells you this dude he's a legit cat, man. So Reynoso, when Eddie Reynoso, sorry for going on the Canelo thing for so long. We'll move on. We'll get quickly to the Ryan Garcia portion. So now with Eddie Reynoso having come out and talking about this Luke Campbell fight, made me rethink the fight a little bit, and you know, sit down and it was like, okay, well, Eddie Reynoso saying that he's comfortable and believes, you know, he wants Ryan Garcia to get the Luke Campbell fight, and he believes that Ryan Garcia is going to knock out Luke Campbell. I think that man, dude, if Eddie Reynoso says it and he's training for the fight, dude, I think of Eddie Reynoso a lot like I think of Buddy McGirt. Right, when Buddy McGirt starts talking about what he can fix and what he can do, I believe him, dude, because I've seen him fix it. I've seen him do it before. So the same thing with Eddie Reynoso. Eddie Reynoso says he's going to knock out Luke Campbell. So I had to analyze that, right? And so I thought it was like, okay, this is kind of, I favored Ryan Garcia to win that fight because obviously, if Ryan Garcia is going to fight Luke Campbell, just the marketing push on the way that especially the way that the WBC thinks, right? The way that the WBC thinks. The WBC is going to be all in for Ryan Garcia, all in for Eddie Reynoso and Ryan Garcia over Luke Campbell. So, you know, and the money behind him, I'm just like, Luke Campbell is a good fighter. He's not a great fighter. He doesn't really hit very hard. There's nothing that he does exceptionally well, but other than he's a solid fundamental fighter, and he is a big 135 pounder. He could probably be fighting at 140 pounds for sure. He could be fighting there, but if you look at him in the ring with the other guys that he's fought at 135 pounds, he's looked to me significantly bigger. So I think that there's an amount of discipline that Luke Campbell has that's keeping him at 135 pounds, but he does not have a lot of power. Also, he has been dropped. He got dropped by Mendes, I do believe, earlier in his career. I know he came back to beat Mendes, but he got dropped in that fight. He got beat up and almost stopped by Vasily Lomachenko. But he was smart. He didn't get stopped because he took advantage of something and showed what I think is a shortcoming in Vasily Lomachenko's game, is that Vasily Lomachenko is not really able, or at least I've not seen him really chase somebody down. And he relies on a lot of counter punching. He relies on angles, and he will, if cutting, changing angles, and, you know, throwing shots with you at the same time isn't working for him, Vasily Lomachenko will start pressing forward on you. And when he started pressing forward on Luke Campbell couldn't handle it. Luke Campbell looked like he was coming apart. But Luke Campbell started staying far away from Vasily Lomachenko and just moving for the sake of moving, trying to let himself recover, trying to get himself back together. And because Vasily Lomachenko couldn't close the distance on Luke Campbell doing that, Luke Campbell was able to survive and fight another day. And so as a result, he's probably against, more than likely, well, no, he was supposed to be, but that changed. He was supposed to get another title shot against, you know, in an eliminator between, I think it was he and Javier Fortuna. But I think this is probably going to work the same way. If he's able to beat Ryan Garcia, he would get another shot. But, you know, after listening to what Eddie Reynoso had to say and thinking about the way that Vasily Lomachenko did Luke Campbell, I think that he might be right about Ryan Garcia getting him out of there, because Ryan Garcia has talents that are just far beyond Luke Campbell's, and he also has physical attributes and talents that I think are beyond Lomachenko's. Now, specifically, that might sound blasphemous. Oh my God, man, dude, you're only blasphemous, dude, if something is in your religion. You know what I mean? Like that's blasphemous. This is against the word of God. Can't believe somebody said insulting Tyson Fury or thinking Tyson Fury cheated is blasphemous. Like, nigga, this dude ain't no God. What do you mean blasphemous? He's just some cheating ass. He's just some UK dude that cheats a lot. Sorry, I got sidetracked. I'm so ticked off about that issue, dude. It just creeps into everything. But anyway, Vasily Lomachenko is not as tall as Ryan Garcia, obviously. He's not, I don't believe he's anywhere near as fast as Ryan Garcia is. He's very precise. Lomachenko's got some of the most precise punches in boxing. Like when he's going for your spot, when he's trying to hit you somewhere, he hits you exactly where he wants to hit you. It ain't off by an inch, it ain't off by 2 inches. If he wants to get in close and hit you with that liver shot, he is hitting you dead center on your liver. You know what I mean? But that's separate. That's timing, and that's punch placement. With Ryan Garcia, what you get is, at this stage in his career, is you get just blinding speed. Dude is very, very fast jab, very straight right hand, very fast left hook coming behind the right hand, and he's got a lot of power, on all of them. So if Vasily Lomachenko is able to walk down and break down and almost stop Luke Campbell, a taller, longer, younger, aggressive Ryan Garcia, who is fighting a Luke Campbell that is more worn now than he was when Lomachenko fought. Yeah, he might get him out of there, man. But that answers a question on Luke Campbell. Now, but as far as the rest, the guys that are actually holding titles at 135 pounds, we will see. But we'll see if he's able to do what Eddie Reynoso says with Luke Campbell, though, I will then start saying, okay, yeah, Ryan Garcia is one of the top lightweights. Right now, I have the top lightweights being Vasily Lomachenko, Gervonta Davis, and this is in no particular order, so don't get don't get whoever y'all, if y'all have listened to the video this deep in, you know what I mean? Most of y'all that would have an issue with what I'm saying haven't gotten this far. That's why I do videos this long. But if Vasily Lomachenko, man, I lost my train of thought. Vasily Lomachenko is a great fighter, but Ryan Garcia is a younger fighter. And as far as what Ryan Garcia is ranked in the lightweights, dude, I would give Vasily Lomachenko, Gervonta, Tank Davis, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, and Chris Colbert. But right now, I would have, like Ryan Garcia right around where Chris Colbert is. It's just that Chris Colbert is not getting. He doesn't fight for a promotional company that is that engaged with the PR institutions that are otherwise called media. But anyway, that's my take on it. If Ryan Garcia is able to beat Campbell, then I would have him up in that group. But until then, my man is still just a prospect. You let me know what you think in the comment section about Ryan Garcia, Luke Campbell, and where he stands in the lightweight division. And with that, I'm out. Peace.